Nut Feast of Madness, a tale of terror by Argor Barpha that is sure to make you shit in your pants. In the oppressive gloom of the old mansion, nestled amidst a forgotten corner of the world, there sat a black-haired woman and a red-haired man, their eyes reflecting the pallid glow of a waning moon that barely penetrated the dust-clogged windows. The room, its walls etched with ancient symbols of arcane and unspoken horrors, seemed to pulse with a malignant vitality, as though it were a living thing watching them. They sat across from each other at a long, crooked table, its wood warped by the weight of countless years, and the oppressive air of dread that hung about them. In front of them, a bowl of assorted nuts lay, their shells cracked open, revealing their contents, seeds, strange and foreign, marinated in a viscous, semi-translucent fluid that oozed from them like the very essence of some forbidden malady. It was not oil, nor any substance that could be categorized by mortal minds. It was worse. The woman, her hair dark as the void between stars, reached for a handful. Her slender fingers trembled, not from fear, but from an incomprehensible yearning, as if some eldritch force had compelled her to partake. The man, whose hair burned with the color of fire, an unnatural fire, a flame that seemed to burn with a light not seen on this plane, watched her with an intensity that bordered on madness. His lips, cracked and parched, twitched into a half-smile as she brought the first nut to her mouth. The taste was unnatural, impossible to describe with words. It was as if the very essence of decay and rot had been distilled and encased in the fragile shell of the nut. It was as if something vile, something that had festered beneath the skin of time itself, had seeped into their very souls. The fluid, thick and pungent, clung to their tongues, pulling forth forgotten memories, memories of places where the stars had been wrong, and the skies had turned a sickly green under the influence of otherworldly forces. The woman's eyes widened, a flash of recognition crossing her features, something primal, something ancient stirring within. The man's hand twitched, his grip tightening around the edge of the table. His breath quickened, a slight tremor running through his body, as though the air itself had thickened, turning to something more malignant. "You taste it, don't you?" he whispered, his voice carrying the weight of centuries, as if the very utterance of the words had drawn forth something dreadful. The rot that once lived in the stars, it stirs again. The woman did not respond. She was lost, her gaze vacant as she chewed the repulsive morsel, her mind slowly unraveling beneath the influence of the tainted feast. She had known, of course, that such things were not meant for human consumption. Yet in that forsaken place, beneath the thrumming pulse of the unseen things that slumbered in the dark corners of the universe, the madness seemed so sweet. And as they ate, the room seemed to darken further. The shadows writhed, and the distant echo of whispers, voices too terrible for mortal ears, began to fill the air. The nuts, marinated in a substance born of something worse than madness, had begun their work. It was not the food that corrupted, but the knowledge it unlocked, the awareness of the abominable truths that lay just beyond the veil of reality. And in that accursed place, the woman and the man, entwined by a fate none could escape, surrendered themselves to the horrors they had awakened. Thank you for listening. If you're feeling it, then lick those fingers and slide over those like and subscribe buttons. See you next time.